Really my key to being more socially suave, just being someone who you really want to be in social situations where you go and you interact with people and they really just seem to like and respect you. That's kind of everyone's desire, right? We want to be liked by other people. We want other people to appreciate and respect us. So, how do we go about becoming more socially suave? Well, it's probably not what you think. It's a little bit counterintuitive, in fact. So, I'm going to talk about 3 things that you can do today to start your path, start your journey to becoming a lot more socially adept, socially suave, we'll call it. So, the first thing that you can be doing, that you should be doing to become more socially magnetic and liked by other people is to let your guard down. So, what does letting your guard down mean and what does it look like? So, letting your guard down can pretty much be described as not going into an interaction with any sort of filter that you put on yourself. Now, let me quickly stop and make sure that I clarify what a filter means. A filter does not mean you go into a situation and you just start flipping the bird and, calling everyone what you really necessarily think of them, right? Because that's not socially suave. That's not social intelligence. That's not emotional intelligence. What I mean by taking the filter off is taking the mask off that you put on before you go into an interaction. And notice what you do, right? Depending on the social situation that you go into, you might put a different mask or a different filter on. Well, it's a tall order to go and immediately remove all those different masks that you put on in different social situations because they do play a role, right? You're going to probably show a different side of yourself in a corporate meeting than you will at a hangout with your friends. The point is to be showing yourself in a good light, but also to remove the filters that you put on yourself that take away from who you really are, from your true personality. Let me give you an example. You might go into a party and one of your friends says a joke that you really find funny, but because you don't know other people around you, you won't laugh at it because you worry that they're going to think that you're a dork or you're strange for laughing at the joke that you really find funny. You just don't want to be judged. But if you let your guard down, you would go into that situation and you'd laugh at that joke, even if other people didn't laugh at it because you found that it was funny. You didn't have your guard up in that situation. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Okay, let's move on to the second one that I have here for you. The second trait, second thing you can be practicing to become more socially suave is to be yourself. Now, the first one of letting your guard down kind of lends into the second point of being yourself. Now, people seem to have a pretty good intuitive sense of when you're being yourself or not. For some people, it's easy to tell when they're being fake. They're putting on a front because you might know them personally well, and then you see them out and about, and you're like, hey, you're being different than you really are. But when you're yourself, you're just not trying so hard, and that's a great thing. And other people, whether they consciously or subconsciously pick up on that. People like when you're yourself, and people can at least respect when you're yourself, even if their energy does not match or mesh well with yours, because there's a certain level of vulnerability and social risk you have to take to be yourself, because you basically, by being yourself, are stripping off the layers. You're taking off your clothes and you're showing your true self, your true quirky characteristics, your unique attributes to other people. And that's scary because it's open for judgment and open for positive or negative reception from other people. But what I've noticed in my life is when I've been myself, even if I've gotten, teased a little bit for having certain strange quirks, I've also found myself forming close connections with those people and a lot more people. And the people that care matter, and the people that really don't matter don't care. So that's a way that you should go about being yourself, is just realizing you're not necessarily going to end up being loved by everybody, but take that step of unveiling yourself and allowing yourself to be somewhat unclothed in front of other people so that they can at least form their version of how you really are, but that's based on how you really are, you see? And that's not based on some picture you're painting that is not really you. Make sense? Okay, on to the last point here. And this really built off the second point that I just brought up of being yourself, is really to not mind other people's opinions. And there's a couple reasons why you really shouldn't mind other people's opinions. So the first reason that you should not mind other people's opinions when you let your guard down and when you're yourself is because you haven't walked a mile in the person's shoes. So maybe the person that you think is being mean, rude, or dismissive to you because you're being yourself, because you've let your guard down, they might be that way because you remind them about a certain someone that they trusted that, ultimately the relationship ended for some reason. That could be friends. That could be, more romantic relationships. It can be whatever version. Or maybe they look up to you in certain ways, but they feel inadequate when they're around you because you give off a certain aura that they want to give off that they're not yet giving that off. They might feel envious, and so they might not receive that well because it reminds them about their own lack of being themselves. That's a big one. Let me give you a third reason why you shouldn't really mind other people's opinions about you. The third reason is because people's opinions can change the more they get to know you. Let's think about this. We have given people first impressions that might have not turned out to be how you really were. Or in other words, let's say you got a first impression of someone that might be your friend today that at first you thought, hey, this person's kind of weird. I don't really know what I think of this person, right? But the more you got to know them, the more you got to interact, you guys started to, or gals started to, or whoever started to form more of a connection as you got to know them better. And if you didn't, that's okay. Because again, going back to the point I made earlier, the people that matter in your life care, and those that don't matter usually don't care. That's a great rule to live by for social interactions. I hope that this video was somewhat informative and gave you value. If you got value from this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And in the comment section, go ahead and suggest future videos that I should do to bring you all value. Because that's my mission here, is to make life a little bit better and to help you along your journey of life. Thank you so much and have a great day. Talk soon. Bye for now.